everybody, it is your girl, your diva, and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Well, I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. I really want to thank all of y'all who have been commenting on the videos, leaving me such positive feedback. I even want to give a shout out to those of you who haven't been so positive and pleasant. I welcome negative feedback just as much as I do positive. So just the fact that you are taking the time to stop and view my content, even if you don't like it, is a one up for me. So just keep in mind that every time you click on my video, even if you're just clicking on it to thumb it down, if you're just clicking on it to throw something negative, it helps my views. So again, I want to thank all the positive and the negative energy that's been posted below the comment section. So again, just the fact that you were viewing it means a heck of a lot. So with no further ado, I want to go on tonight's menu, tonight's topic, talking about when becoming a single mother gets boring. Oh yes, and the reason why I wanted to pursue this particular topic is because I personally know a single mother of two, who's been very, very proud of being a single mom, and basically she has consistently acknowledged how much her children mean the world to her, how much she loves being a mom, and how being a mom is the best job on this planet. And basically, she had to consistently keep acknowledging, how proud she was to be a single mom. Now, this is not to say that a woman should feel inferior because she's a single mother. It's not to state that because you have children, that you should feel bad about your situation or circumstances. Because the truth of the matter is, some women have become single mothers not at the fault of their own. God forbid if they were married and something unfortunate happened to their husband died, being in the military, died, passed away, car accident. At some point in time, you can't help being a single mother, and even then, you're not really a single mother, you're a widow. But people who don't know your situation and see you alone with your child is automatically going to assume you're a single mom. So circumstances like that, you can't help it. Other circumstances, if you and the man made a mutual agreement that this was a child, this was something y'all both wanted together, you didn't manipulate him, you didn't deceive him, you didn't go behind his back and stop taking birth control, you ain't do nothing real malicious or underhanded, and dude decides to renege on his promise after y'all done sat there and made an agreement as two consenting adults that this is something y'all both wanted, and dude just dropped the ball at the last minute and he didn't come through on his word, then that's different. But as a single mother, you put yourself in a position to be a single mother when you decide to have unprotected sex with a man who is not your husband, with a man who is not in a serious committed relationship with you. This is somebody that was a cut friend, somebody that you would just give him some every once in a while, because you didn't have nobody else to give it to when you was horny, whatever your reasons were, or you thought by going to bed with him, having unprotected sex, if you get pregnant, that'll make him commit to you once he discovers you're with child. Whatever your malicious motives or reasons for why you did what you did to become a single mom, because let's be honest, a lot of us as women, we don't want to be honest, we don't want to be truthful when we knew good damn well what we did intentionally. We know our motives behind it. Even if you never express your true intentions to anybody, you know internally in your heart when you have made decisions based on malicious motives and malicious intent. And you can lie to everybody else and play the victim and play crazy like you didn't know you was going to end up a single mom, but majority of the time, 8 times out of 10, women, we know exactly what the hell we're getting into when we decide to make a certain decision. And it's just that when the outcome does not pan out the way we hoped, it does not turn out the way that we dreamed, then we want to play victim. Then we want to make it seem like, oh, we was abandoned, we was neglected, when we put ourselves in the position to be neglected and abandoned. Because, ladies, common sense, if you lay down with the man single, 9 times out of 10, you can get right back up as a single mother, okay? Take a no-brainer. If you have unprotected sex with a man who is not your husband, who is not in a relationship with you, has made no plans to be with you, then you are signing up to be a single mother. It is what it is. Now, it does not mean life is over. I know plenty of women who were able to look up and get simps. Men, boyfriends, whatever, that was willing to accept their baggage. They was willing to pick up where the next man left off. Kudos to you if you were one of those women that was fortunate enough to do that, because regardless of how much these men be preaching on YouTube and telling these brothers to stay away from single mothers, let me tell you something. A lot of these guys are out here not only dating single mothers, they are having additional children, adding more to the collection that the single mother already has. So you got some men out there, a lot of them are not falling up behind anything that these dudes are telling them on the YouTube sector. So just keep in mind, you can still look up and find somebody that's willing to accept your excess baggage. So I wanted to talk about when being a single mother it becomes boring and now you're looking for a companion. Now, like as I stated before, there's this particular young lady who I know. She's always been happy to be a mother of two, but it's gotten to the point now where I'm starting to notice on her Facebook account, she's always taking selfies, she's taking pictures, she's trying to basically advertise herself. Okay, and social media has become the new that has become the new method that a lot of women who have reached a level of desperation, they're using that tool to try to lure men, to attract men. They're going on these online websites, or like I said, they're doing a lot of avatar baiting. You know, they're posting pictures and selfies of themselves, you know, the sexiest picture they can find, and they're posting it because what is starting to happen is, as much as these women claim they love being a mother, they enjoy being a single mom, and they wouldn't trade it for the world, and I believe it. I'm a mother of one, and even though me and her father have had our share of ups and downs in our marriage, I do not regret having my daughter. She is one of the best things that ever happened to me, and I don't think any woman should regret having a child, but you can regret how you had that child. You should be more mindful in that sense. But so I get it. But what starts to happen to a lot of these single mothers that a lot of them would not admit to, it does not matter how much you love your children. It comes a point when you want a companion, because let's just face it, ladies, there's things a man can do for you that your children just cannot. Okay, your children, it should be a number one priority to your life, and because you brought them here. I mean, they did not ask to come here, so you don't get brownie points for being a good mother. That is something that you're supposed to do. You don't get mother of the year. Children did not ask to be here. Once you lay down and spread your wings and you consent to let a man nut in you with no protection, guess what? You have to deal with the consequences at hand. Okay, so on that note, as I stated, it comes a point where no matter how much you love your children, you gonna want you a man. A lot of women are not going to admit that. They're going to try to act like they don't care that they don't have a companion, they don't care that they don't have a soulmate, and they're just fine with it being them and their children. And I'm here to tell you that is a load of bullshit, because the truth is, if you laid down with the man raw and he gave you a child, then that lets me know you've always had a desire to want to be with the man. It just so happens that the odds did not work out in your favor, because the man that you slept with, who evidently you desired, who evidently you wanted, he did not want you, or did not want a future with you, or whatever, and just so happened a child was conceived out of it. Now, I know I'm stepping on a lot of toes. It's a very, very touchy subject, because the truth is, there's a lot of single moms out here. Nobody wants to be told basically that they are not, wanted, that they are not desired. It's one thing to be a kept woman, it's another thing to be a had woman. Anybody could be had, but being kept says a lot about your worth and your value. So this is the reason why a lot of single moms get offended. They take it personal when people even talk about being a single mom, because the truth is, a lot of women do feel worthless to an extent when a man has decided to walk out of your life, and he didn't mind having a child with you, but he didn't find you valuable enough, or he didn't find you desirable enough to actually stay in a committed relationship with you. Yes, y'all had sex. Yes, y'all had a child, but it does not matter what a lot of these women say. A lot of these women did not want to be a single mom. They are learning to accept it because they don't have a choice. They're bragging on it and they're proud of it because basically life has dealt them a raw deal, and they know beating themselves down is not going to change their circumstances. So what better way to deal with your circumstances than to be proud of it, than to make the best out of your fuckery situation. So as I was stating, it's a lot of women who claim to be so proud to be single moms, but there are things that your children just cannot do for you that a man can. Okay, for instance, your children, you cannot talk to them or hold a dialogue with your children like you can your man, your companion. If I'm having a bad day, I can call my husband, I can talk to him and say, this is what's going on, this is what happened to me on my job. Because let's face it, ladies, we get tired of our girlfriends sometimes. Okay, I don't care if you got the bestie, homegirls, or friends. Sometimes you just need that masculine presence, because men sometimes have that voice of reason where their masculinity has a way of calming you, soothing you, and because it's that masculine energy that women was designed to want to desire, because God did not put women here first. So woman is not used to being alone, even though now we have normalized it because of Section 8, welfare, food stamps, child support, whatever. But originally, God did not design women to be single mothers. Okay, if so, Eve would have been here first and would have had a child first. Okay, Adam wouldn't even been created if it was in God's alignment for women to be single mothers. So if y'all want to get biblical, for all y'all who love to go to church every Sunday, just biblically speaking, if you want to be righteous about it, God did not design us to have children by ourselves. He did not design us to put ourselves in situations where we have to raise children on our own. This is something we started doing when we started going out of the order of God, not getting married, not having children the correct way, having children for food stamps, for child support, to trap a man. When we started doing things for worldly reasons, that is when we lost the spiritual designment of what having children was about. And having children was designed, meaning between husband and a wife. I don't care what nobody says, this was not the way God designed it. This was not in God's plan for women to be raising children by themselves. Now I get it. Like I said, some of y'all was bamboozled. Some of y'all was lied to. Some of y'all was tricked to. Yes, there are some deadbeat ass dudes, but the truth of the matter, most of the time, women, we can prevent stuff from happening before it happens. If you want to get your freak on, you want to get your sex on, you want to get off, that's fine. But every dude that you lay with, you should not be trying to make them your baby daddy. You should not be going in a raw with them. Not when women, we got all of these options, we got all of these choices, we got all this birth control. There is no excuse for you to be a single mom unless you just want to be, okay? So as I was stated, there's just some things your children can't do that a man can do. Yes, you be needing a male companion sometimes. Somebody you can just talk to. It ain't always about sex. You just want a man that's going to listen to you, give you some real advice, help you to keep your head on straight. That's the blessing of being in a relationship. Not only that, your children cannot sexually please you. Let's face it, at the end of the day, as a grown-ass woman, you have grown-ass woman needs, okay? Your children can't do it for you. Sometimes we have to be sexually pleased. You got to be sexually stimulated, which this is the blessing that comes along with having a husband. So you don't have to seek that from every random dude. But truth of the matter is, some of us will never get married. And the truth of us, marriage ain't always promised or guaranteed either. So just because you got a husband, that don't mean your shit gonna always be straight too. But nevertheless, you have sexual desires. Your children cannot fulfill that. And third is just the fact of just having a relationship. it's in a woman's nature to want a relationship. Now, a lot of us have learned, because we have not had the best of luck with getting a relationship, we have learned to convince ourselves that we can do without, that we don't need a man, that we don't need a companionship. And most of the time when a woman says this, is basically because she has gotten to a point in life where she has basically given up. She has not been able to grasp the man that she wants, or she just keeps picking up scrags and builder bums, and she's not getting anywhere with, a man that's worth something. So it comes a point when it's easy, it's less disappointment when you stop desiring something. When you keep desiring something, that is when the disappointment sets in. So it's easier to tell yourself not to want something. That way you don't have to deal with the disappointment of not getting it. Okay? So basically, as I was saying, being a single mom, yes, being a mother is a blessing. It's a reward. It's a privilege within itself. It's a lot of women who want children and cannot have children. It's a blessing to be able to have a child. However, a lot of us are not being honest, ladies. After a while, it gets played out. I don't care how much you love your children, how much fulfillment they bring to you. You eventually gonna want a man of your own. You're gonna want a companion. Like I said, it's not so much about sex. Just after a while, you need somebody you can confide in. You need somebody you can talk to. Your kids don't understand the struggle of being an adult sometimes, and sometimes you need that masculine companion where you can vent. You need that voice of reason, because sometimes, like I said, your homegirls don't do it for you. People in your family, relatives, they just don't always do it for you. You want your own male companion. And this is where the thirst trapping starts going in full fruition. This is when single moms are opening OnlyFans account. They're overly advertising themselves on Facebook, on Instagram, taking all these thought shock pictures, anything to try to draw attention, anything to try to get a man interested in them, because the truth is, being a mom is not always this exciting life that we try to make it out to be. It gets stressful sometimes. Sometimes your kids get on your goddamn nerves, sometimes you just want that me time for yourself, because being a mother is a full-time job. It gets stale at times. It gets stressful. It can be frustrating because it's just you doing the majority of everything. I don't care how strong you are as a black woman, even the strong start to get weary. Even the strong start to get weak. Okay, so a lot of these single moms that want to put on this red cape and make it seem like being a single mom is a hero, how much they enjoy it, how meaningful it is to them. These are the same women at night when they're alone in their bed, they pouring down in tears because they really want somebody they can talk to. They are tired of having to be super strong mom all the time. It's an empty space, because a lot of women will not admit it, but we want the full package, because by nature, women, we're natural accessorizers. We love to accessorize. We don't like to get the shoes without the purse. We don't like to get the purse without the shoes. We don't like to get the shoes without the outfit. We naturally love to accessorize. We want everything all at once. With that being said, a lot of these single moms, they're not proud to be single mothers. They really want the full package. There's no single mom who can convince me, I don't care who she is, unless she was in a very abusive, volatile relationship, something like that. I could understand maybe she has lost her desire of wanting a family. But the truth is, a lot of single moms are not happy with not having that family foundation. Now they will lie and tell other people that they don't need a man, they okay raising their kids by themselves, but then these are the same women that will turn around and bash the fathers when the fathers are not playing an active role in the children's lives. They would say he's a deadbeat, He's not a real man. He's not a real father, even though that's the man they chose, even though that was the man who they decided they wanted to be with. That was the man they decided not to wear no protection with. That was the man they decided not to get on any birth control or contraceptives with. That was the man they decided to go in a raw with. Now, even though they want to badger and badmouth this man, but yet they trusted this man enough to leave their womb fully open with no full coverage, not even liability. A lot of us as black women need to learn how to get at least liability on our vagina. If you're not going to give full coverage, at least get liability on a punani. You have no full coverage, no liability, and guess what? When there's an accident, there's a wreck, you are left standing having to deal with the damage after the wreck because you took no means or no proper precaution as a woman to protect your vagina. Now, this is another point I want to make. I was eavesdropping in a certain female's channel, and I'm not going to mention her name. I know, because I know a lot of guys are already not fond of her. Now, like I stated, I've gotten to the point where I learn a little bit of everything from everybody. I can learn something from this person's channel. I can learn something from that person's channel. I actually support a lot of the women who go against the principle of black female fuckery, but I also support some men who do support black female fuckery, because there's truth in everything. The problem is we only want our truths to be more valid, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, all of us got some type of truth, you feel me? So I learn a little bit from everybody's content, you know what I mean? People that a lot of people support or don't support, I rock with a little bit of everybody. I rock with the anti-black female fuckery and the female fuckery. I rock with both because I feel like I can learn a little bit of everything from everybody. But anyway, I was eavesdropping in the clouds, and I know the question, it wasn't pertaining to black men not being supportive of black women as parents, and basically one as single mothers or mothers. And one of those comments that was made, which I highly disagree with, was one of the women called into the show, and she basically said that the reason why a lot of females, black women, have to get on welfare is because a lot of the men have walked away and abandoned their responsibilities and neglected them. So basically she was saying there's too much of a myth that black men on YouTube are basically saying that that welfare is the breakup of families. She basically insinuated that black men were the reason there was not a family foundation for black women. And when she made this statement, she basically stated that, you know, it's too many people using welfare as an excuse as to why there's no man in the home, when really there's no man in the home because they're walking away. They're not accepting their responsibilities. They're neglecting their responsibilities, and they leaving it on the women. So the women had no choice but to get welfare or food stamps. I would like to say I totally disagree with that statement, because let's face it, ladies, let's say that the majority of black women that are on food stamps and welfare is because black men have left them, or black men have neglected them and abandoned their responsibilities. Let's say if that's the narrative y'all want to run with and spin. Let's say if that's the narrative y'all want to go with. This is my question. Even before he walked away, what was it about him where you chose him to be a father of your child? Because truth be told, since that's the narrative some of these sisters want to run with, that these men are walking away from their responsibilities, why are they walking away? Now, this does not mean I'm not holding them liable, because the truth is, like I stated, we do got some deadbeat ass men out here who just don't give a damn about their babies, who don't care about their families. This is true. However, my thing is, as black women, the majority of y'all know this and y'all take a chance anyway. My thing is, if that's the narrative y'all want to go with, the reason why we as black women got to get on welfare and food stamps is because these black men are leaving us and walking away from us. Well, my thing is, even if he walked away, even if he left, my thing is, you should have made sure you were straight to where whether he stayed or didn't stay, you wouldn't have to depend on the system. The fact that you had to go to the system even after he neglected you, even after he walked away from his responsibilities, even though he may have been wrong. But my thing is, the fact that you had to still go and depend on the system after this man has failed you still shows me you as a woman, you are not handling your business. You are not handling your responsibilities. So we're not going to run with that narrative that it is not it's not welfare that caused black families to break up. It's black men who walking away from their responsibilities. As I stated, I know a few of them are, but what made you choose him? And then a lot of y'all are not being honest as to why he walked away. Were you disrespectful? Was you hoeing on him and he found out you deceived him, that you was banging 3-4 other dudes and he felt like the child wasn't his, or he walked away because the truth came out that that was not his child? See, as sisters, a lot of black women, we don't want to tell the real version. We want to tell the version that makes people empathize and sympathize with us. So again, y'all can point the fingers all you want at the black man, at the welfare system. It all begins with us. When you're laying down with these men not using any protection, they're not your husband, they're not in a committed relationship with you, you knew what you were signing up for. Okay, when you lay down with a man single, expect to be a single mother. And these are the same ones that'll turn around and praise other black women who condone the fuckery by saying that black men ain't this, and you know, this is why we got to get on welfare. My thing is, you should be able to take care of yourself, because think about it, even if you didn't have a child, even if you wasn't able to get welfare, truth be told, you was going to have to take care of yourself by yourself anyway, even if you didn't have children. So if you didn't have kids, you wouldn't have had to get no welfare. You still would have had to get a job. You still would have had to pay bills. You still would have maintained. So if you're getting on welfare, that's because you chose to get on welfare. Okay? If you became a single mom, that's because you put yourself in a position to become a single mom. Yes, as I stated, we got deadbeats out here. We got men who do not take responsibility. But at the end of the day, it all starts with us. Need to stop laying up with these dudes because you horny, you thirsty, you trying to get back at your ex-husband, your baby daddy, whatever you trying to do, or the man you want, he's dealing with you knowing he's in a relationship. You don't mind being sidekick, side chick, appetizer, whatever. So you thought getting knocked up was going to make him leave his wife, whatever the case is. All I'm saying is, women, a lot of us, we know just what the hell we be doing when we be doing it, okay? So let's not try to spin these narratives and try to come up with all kind of stuff to condone our fuckery. So anyway, I just thought that it was imperative that I spoke on this, because it's so many of us as black women acting like we're so proud to do everything on our own. I'm such a strong black woman, hear me roar. But at the end of the day, when it becomes too much, you lashing out, you having attitudes, you being mean, you being bitter, you being hateful because you overwhelmed, you got too much on your goddamn plate. And the truth of the matter is, you're really angry with yourself. Even though you're taking out on the world, you mad with the world, and you got to go places where you are surrounded by other black women who share the same level of bitterness as you do, you know. And truth is, a lot of us set ourselves up for failure based on the fact that we make poor decisions, and you do stuff out of spite, you do stuff for selfish and ill gain, but then when the consequences come back to bite and it don't work out in your favor, you ended up not getting what you thought you was going to get. Now you want to play victim. Now you want empathy, you want sympathy. Now the system has to step in and help you. Now again, you have to become a full-time membership of the bitter black woman hood, you know. All of this just to try to find some type of peace within yourself. But anyway, I say all that to say this, you know, for all of you who are not in this situation, think twice before you decide to become a single mom, having to raise children on your own, because eventually you may want a companion. You know, no matter how much you may lie to yourself now, you don't want nobody, you don't need nobody, you happy being alone. You may feel that way for the moment only because you're going through some other stuff, but sooner than later you may change your mind and you may want something more fulfilling than just being a single mother. So anyway, y'all, I'ma shut it down. It is your diva in knowledge, your girl Lady Mocha, Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth and break you off a slice of knowledge. Ladies, if you haven't, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. For those of you who need cable, I sell over 12,000 channels for only $26 a month up to 2 devices if you have an Amazon stick. So if you're interested in saving some money this year and you want live streaming good quality cable, hit me up in my email and I'll be glad to hook you up. Talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a blessed one, and y'all are welcome to cash at me at $DymondGyrl, DymondGyrl, and just keep supporting my movement. I'm so appreciative and grateful for each and every one. Have a good one. Bye.